Hey guys, this is Anarchist coming to you from the dark side of the moon, and I am here with the Marlboro Man.
That's Marlboro Man, After Hours, Renegade Radio.
Thank you, Marlboro Man. Now, we were just going to bring up a conversation talking about how the system discriminates against us using our credit scores. So I was telling Marlboro Man how in the area that I live at, that they really they lie about their poverty rates in the township, but because the reason why their poverty rates are so low is because they make sure that in order to gain housing in this township, they have to have a credit score of 650. Now, most people who are impoverished, who do make a decent amount of money, still can't get their own apartments because their credit scores aren't high enough. Sometimes they can have no credit at all. So, Marlboro Man, you were telling me a story about how you were trying to get a RV.
Oh, yeah, I went actually, I was car shopping, automobile shopping, and I went to look at different RVs because they were on sale and they had a low monthly rate. And the sign outside said no credit or bad credit, we'll finance you, whatever, come on in. So I go in there just to find out, and I asked the guy straight up. I said, okay, in order to pay that monthly rate, what would the person's credit score have to be in order to sign up for that? And he told me 650, which is exactly what you said. The average was around this area, 650.
Right, right. I love how they say that they don't discriminate, giving you either the car or the house or whatever based on sex, gender, and stuff like that, but they're still discriminating against you with your credit score.
And then the sign said no credit or bad credit, which means that if you had no or bad credit, you wouldn't be paying that low monthly fee.
Right.
And on top of that, even at the normal fee with 650, and you're getting the good deal, the interest on that would have to be something like, God, like at least $25,000 more than what the actual sticker price was.
Exactly. So the
You're
price on
paying.
it,
You're paying an extra like 2, 3, 4, 5 years. Who the hell knows?
yeah,
just for the interest, you already could have owned the thing.
yeah. Could have bought it off the street yourself from a private dealer and put in that same amount of money into fixing it if there was any problems.
That's right.
Could get an old running car and keep it going forever, an old mechanical car.
They do that to the Mexicans. That's why they live in these neighborhoods where they all live in the same house and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Because the real estate agents, when they check the credit score, even if it is a good score, what they do is they give them like a better deal, and they let them all, they give them bigger houses, but they give them a higher interest
A
rate
higher
with a
interest
lower
rate.
monthly
What a
payment,
lower monthly
so that
payment.
they think they're making money because they all kind of put and pitch in on the low monthly payment.
Yeah.
But when you get it to the end of the 30 years is usually what they sell people like that.
Yeah, they try to get you on the 30-year mortgage instead of the 15-year.
Yeah, you want the 15, right?
Yeah, you want to
Exactly.
try to get the 15-year because that's paying it off less time. Yeah, the payments are a little bit larger, but the principal is still the same. The principal is the initial amount of what it was worth. So if you bought a house or a car for $50,000, the initial principal is $50,000. Once that first month has passed and you are now into the getting the interest, now it's the principal plus whatever you are accruing for how many months you have are starting to pay it off.
Yeah. If you actually buy a really nice house for say $350,000, that's a pretty nice house.
Yeah,
Even
that's a pretty sizable nice
now,
house.
now that the market is sort of back to where it's kind of supposed to be, uh, you're actually going to end up paying like over $1 million by the time you pay off the house.
Yeah,
It's $1 million.
yeah. By the
You
time
know,
you
when
actually
they
own
pay
it,
the interest, yeah.
and even if you still don't like, even if you own the house, you don't even get to own the land that the house is on.
No, you got to pay the property
Gotta
tax
pay
forever.
property tax. So even if you stop paying the property tax, they'll come and say, well, you need to get off our land. So what? Do I just move the house?
Some people do that. They live on trailers and yeah, they do. They have to move their house.
Well, yeah, that would make sense if you're in a frickin' trailer.
Or they stay and fight. Because they own, a lot of them own the property.
Yeah, but that's when you're going on to more spacey areas. When you're in the city, that's different. You're in the concrete jungle. You are in like super the heart of the statist community, and they own everything. They own everything. The sidewalks, the land that your house sits on, the parks. They own everything.
Yeah, you really can't ever own anything.
No.
And then of course the banks too themselves, they're all they're all run by communists now.
Mhm.
They actually charge people to have bank accounts,
To
and
have bank
that's
accounts.
becoming a common occurrence. They call
So
it the maintenance fees. That's There's no such thing as a
So the
maintenance fee.
idea of having a bank account or a bank is a place to hold your valuables or your money at, that's safe. And that's the whole point of just having a bank. It's just there to hold your money, there to hold it. That's all it's supposed to do. Our banks aren't even banks anymore. They're cartels. So,
Yeah, instead of holding your money, they just keep it there and dwindle it away little by little until you have nothing left. So if you never use your money, you're not actually saving anything.
you're not really saving anything. And they lie to you and they say, oh, when you put your money into savings, they use your money as loans to give to other
Yeah,
people,
that
when that's a
used to be
lie.
how it worked, right?
Yeah, which now that's a lie, because now what they do is they call the Federal Reserve and order more money. So the Reserve just prints more money and inflates our economy with more money, which devalues our currency.
Yeah,
Because now that there's more money in circulation, there's more U.S. dollars out there. The buying power of the dollar is gonna weaken, and it's gonna, what used to cost $1 is gonna cost $1.50, now $2, $2.50, and it's gonna go up and up and up to a point where a loaf of bread's gonna be $10.
yeah. The problem is it's not really our money to begin with.
No, it's not our money. It's the Federal Reserve's money, and the name
It's not.
itself.
It's not even the Federal Reserve's money. It's like world money is what it is.
Well,
It's
that's
like
what
fake fictitious money. It's not
it's
backed
fiat
up.
currency.
It's not backed up by even the United States
No,
anymore, really.
no. Back when our money used to be issued, it was issued by the U.S. Treasury. It
Yeah,
used to be called Treasury notes.
right.
And now, when you look at our money, this is how you know what fiat money is, because it says, in God we trust. So, if our money is fake, you have to have the belief that there's some value in that money. And now you're believing in something that's not really there. And it's so ironic how they put the euphemism of God into our currency, because most people believe in God. And a lot of people think, it's some invisible force that you cannot see or something like that, just like our money being fake. Yeah, it's physical in paper and you can hold it in your hand, but it's as worthless as the paper it's made from.
Yeah, right.
It
That's
doesn't do
right.
anything.
Right. The particular money that we happen to use right now every day.
Yeah, we live in a debt-based economy.
Yeah.
And anytime a dollar is printed, it's not a dollar that's new thrown into the market or in circulation, and with us spending it. It's a dollar printed plus interest.
You know,
So it's already negative dollars when it's printed out.
we really need to replace it with something else. But a lot of people say that it should be backed up by gold. But I disagree. I don't think the gold standard is as viable as it could be. I mean, yeah, we use gold in a lot of stuff, but as far as it being used as jewelry, for example, that's just a market. You
Yeah.
know,
But it does
like
have electronic based
yeah,
components and technology.
there's use for it industrially,
Yeah.
right? Uh, but what I was getting at though is what would actually back up a real American dollar? Like, let's say we did print our own money, got rid of the banks. What would actually what would our money be backed up by then? Well, I think honestly, I think it would be backed up by the labor market, by the hour in which you'd earn however many of those dollars by each person, by each individual that's actually in the labor force.
Right.
So that would actually count as how much our money is worth. So in other words, the more people that were working, the more your money would be worth.
That would make sense. And the other,
Because if you were to give it to another country, for example, they would actually
like
be able,
China.
excuse me, to trade it for that amount of American man hours. So man hours would be what would back up the actual currency.
Mhm.
But you know, you could use it, you could measure it.
Yeah, and see, sorry. So, in my opinion, the type of currency we should use is what I like to call like classic barter and trade, but I also like to say that you can use basically whatever is valuable to you at the moment.
Well, that's a form of barter and trade,
Right.
but you're able to increase the amount of money by the effort that you put into it.
Exactly. So the person has the choice to either A, learn more skills to make more money and better themselves as a person and with their skills and their trade, learn a lot of stuff and become a well-rounded person, or B, be a lazy incompetent person and not make anything.
Right.
It's their choice.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that really
It is their choice.
exactly. So it really just comes to term with people being able to truly choose who they work for, what they do with their lives, and how they attain the skills that they need to progress themselves in the life that they want to live in. So if they want to be a tradesman and they want to, live a certain life, they can do that using their trade to pay for everything that they do or everything they have. There are a lot of anarchistic communities where they're basically run off of the people who are working there, who live there, because it's the people who live there who create their own jobs that participate in what goes on in that community. They have their own stores, which means that pe- people volunteer to work at these stores for their time because they're getting something out of it, either food from that grocery store or some other services that could be offered, like printing and fax. You don't know, like, they could offer different things and stuff like that. So now, and when you're helping each other and you're giving to each other, then you are uh, basically practicing a form of, I like to call it, like fruitfulness. Everybody gets to have it all, kind of. Everybody gets a little of everything because each individual success um, measures the success of the community. So if everybody in that community is successful and participates and plays their part, however way they choose, and they could be lazy and stuff, and as long as they're not really infringing on the rights of other people, they could still be there. They're just not going to get certain things that they want out of it because they're not doing anything.
Right. Exactly. Right. Right. Right.
We're not trying to say that life's going to be fair. It's going to be like, you still got to carry your own weight and be independent, but at the same time be able to collaborate and cooperate on a voluntary basis. Because basically, what we believe is man made laws is an opinion with a gun.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. And that's a great point. For example, if tomorrow, for instance, all the citizens were able to just buy guns. There were no gun laws or gun control whatsoever, and at the same time, say there was no laws. at the same time. So now everyone's armed, and there's also no laws. I would say, yeah, things are going to be a little rocky
Or a little rocket for the
for a while.
beginning. In the
For
beginning,
a while, but
it's gonna
eventually,
level itself out.
nature's going to take its course there.
Yeah, because eventually people aren't gonna mess around with other people who are armed.
Cops always like to say that they wish they could make stupid a crime, but unfortunately, stupid's not a crime. But
Yeah.
I think in a society where everyone was armed and there were no laws, stupid would become a crime pretty darn quickly.
Oh yeah, very
That would
quickly.
probably be the number one
Because they would
crime
know.
of
Well, yeah,
all.
because they would know that one person's stupidity could compromise the well-being of the community.
Right, exactly.
And every person knows that if it's going to infringe or wrong a majority or an individual, they have the right to stop it or correct it.
Because right now in our society, what do? We reward stupidity more often than not, which is
Oh yeah, grade school. Everybody wins.
yeah.
Everybody wins. Go to the next grade. Sorry, no education for you.
Okay, Johnny, you're stupid, but you know what? We got to move you ahead to the next grade anyway, because you're just too old, and we got to push you forward. You're gonna be in the slow class with the retarded kids, but you won't really learn anything. But we gotta get you through
Exactly.
somehow.
Don't worry.
Sorry, little
You'll
Johnny.
be fine. You'll be a cashier at McDonald's. Can't even give out correct change. I give you fucking $5 and some change, and all I want is my dollar back, and you can't even count it. Can't even count it, and you want $15 an hour? Why? Because you can't count money.
That's what they do with those kids, and you know what? It's not like they don't have the. It's not like they don't have the manpower, teacher-wise. It's all these administrators that take the money because they could easily hire people to be a little more focused on some of these learning problems and disabilities. They have a tendency to put them all together and group them in a class. Like I think the behavior disorder or order class they call them, right?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, behavior disorder classes, BD
yeah.
classes.
And typically those are also the slow classes where the retarded kids are. So why are you putting the why are you putting the problem childs in with kids who already have a problem with learning in the first place? It doesn't make any sense.
No.
And then you're really creating a contrast that shouldn't be a difference between two types of students, and then you expect one or even two. Sometimes there's two teachers in a class like that to not only keep it under control but to actually do something and to help these kids.
Yeah, I know.
And they end up graduating.
And then they become the adults of the future running our world.
Yeah.
And this is what's gonna pass for adults.
Right, and that's exactly right. That's what passes.
And the
for.
sad thing is, a lot
the
of us.
standard gets lower and lower and lower.
And what's sad is a lot of people who are skilled and who are talented are held back
That's right.
because they are most of the time are raised with like a false sense of ego and or belonging because they don't think like everybody else. They don't have that collective mind frame of thinking.
And they're taught that it's wrong.
And they're taught that it's wrong.
And they end up doing things like hiding
or
behind a computer
antisocial.
or some other type of device,
yeah.
antisocial, afraid to go out there and look at the world.
Okay. Well, that was a very interesting conversation.
Yeah, it was.
And I would love to be able to go back and forth again and have you on the show again.
Absolutely. Well, being that I would say this is one of many of our shows that'll definitely be a future in more conversation and updates on politicking and music news. And of course, gossip, because there has to be lots.
There
and
has
lots
to be
of,
gossip.
Oh, you must have the gossip. We'll make sure we get lots of gossip going. Don't worry.
All right. Well, this has been the Marlboro Man.
Marlboro Man, a Renegade Radio.
And I am anarchist, and I will see you all on the dark side of the moon.
After hours.
All right, and you guys have a good night.